Hey, how's it going, everybody? So, I was thinking today I'd talk about Avatar: The Last Airbender. So, if you've been living under a rock and have never watched any TV whatsoever, Avatar: The Last Airbender is about a airbender named Aang who finds out that he is the next Avatar. And so, basically, how that works is there is a cycle of avatars that are born. Every time the previous avatar dies, a new avatar is born in the next nation, right? You have the nations of fire, water, earth, and air. And so the previous avatar was a fire nation avatar. And so he dies and ends up being reincarnated as Aang of the air nation. So Aang doesn't want this newfound responsibility. So he ends up leaving and he ends up escaping, ends up hitting a storm, and then he encases himself in a block of ice with his sky bison and his lemur. And so they are encased in ice for 100 years. And so during this time, the Fire Lord of the Fire Nation decides to take over the world. And so basically, how he does that is he knows that the next avatar is supposed to be an airbender, so he carries out a genocide, kills all of the airbenders. Obviously, he doesn't know that Aang is in the ground, currently in a ice block. So 100 years later, you get Katara and Sokka, and they find Aang, and the whole purpose of the show is to have him journey to all the other nations to learn water, earth, and fire, because he already knows airbending. And throughout the journey, you meet a bunch of different characters that are super interesting and have super interesting character arcs. So you have Zuko, who is the son of the current Fire Lord, and you have Iroh, who is the brother of the current Fire Lord, and they are trying to basically regain favor. Zuko is kind of fallen out with his dad, and Iroh is just trying to protect Zuko. And so it's their journey to try to capture the Avatar. Aang travels with Katara and Sokka, as well as his Sky Bison and the Lemur. And their whole purpose is to travel to the different nations, the first one being the Water Nation. And so kind of going along from this point, right, that's a synopsis of the show. I don't want to get too much into it because I don't want to spoil it, even though it's been 20 years since the show has come out. It came out in 2005. I rewatched it recently as an adult about 4 years ago, and I'll tell you, it holds up. I binged it. I watched all of it. It was really good. There's a lot of stuff I didn't remember from when I was a kid, and I actually really enjoyed it. I thought that a lot of the morals that they teach throughout and different ways that the people are with other nations and with other genders and all that, I thought is very applicable nowadays and still can teach, I mean, even your children if you're an adult now. But I just thought it was really good, and I don't feel like many people talk about the show anymore. I know that they came out with a horrible movie in 2010 that a lot of people refuse to talk about, and then the Netflix adaptation I heard was okay. I heard that they're going to make the second and third seasons similar to how there was 3 seasons of the original animated show, and so I haven't watched it myself. I don't really want to be disappointed with all the changes that they made. So I would recommend, if you haven't seen it or if you want to rewatch it but aren't sure, I think you should rewatch it as an adult. I think it holds up pretty well. So yeah, that's my opinion on Avatar.